It was a long time ago, in a small village near Ogbomosho town. There lived a woman called Asabi. Asabi is known for her beauty, as the men in the village would gather to wink at her, even the older men. They would ask for her hand in marriage, but Asabi would reject them. This went on, and the other women in the village became jealous of Asabi. So Ibidun gathered the other women in the village. The women all wore black to show their dissatisfaction with the situation in the village, except Ibidun. So Ibidun led the protest. "We, the women in this village, we are ready for marriage." "Yes!" the other women shouted. Ibidun continued, "But all the men in the village only have eyes for Asabi. Asabi has bewitched the men in this village. The king must do something. Enough is enough." When their complaint got to the king sent for Asabi, but Asabi refused to honor the king's word. Because of the urgency of the matter, the king sneaked out of the palace in the middle of the night to pay Asabi a visit. "Asabi," the king called. "Asabi, everything in life is not about beauty." "Yes, it is, Kabiesi," Asabi interrupted. "A peacock is not just anyhow bird." "Asabi, I have come to order you to choose a suitor among all the men enchanted by your beauty. The women have expressed their annoyance over your lack of choice. But the truth is that Asabi enjoyed the attention given to her by the men in the village, and she is not ready to choose a suitor." So she replied, "Kabiesi, don't let us listen to the noise of the market. Indeed, the gods have endowed me with beauty and grace, and I will enjoy it while it lasts." "Pride goes before downfall," said the king. "I shall give you 3 moons to present a suitor at the palace, or else." "Or else what?" Asabi stood up. So the king left her house, and Asabi, in return, refused to honor the king's word. "I, Asabi, shall enslave the men in this village with my beauty, and there is nothing anyone can do about it." So when the king saw her stand and pride, he decided an alternative. He invited the chief priest to the palace. "Kabiesi, I shall blind the inner eyes of the men in the village to beautiful women. Rather, the men will be attracted to women who can shake their waists to the beat of the drum." "How do we achieve this?" asked Kabiesi. "I shall bring the dance goddess from the forest to the village. You all must worship the dance goddess. On the day of the festival, the women must come with calabash and dance. As they dance and shake their waists, the men will be attracted to them. Whosoever calabash they bend to pick, the men will marry." And that is how Ibidun got a man who picked a calabash and fell in love with her. "Kabiesi," said the chief priest, "the power in the calabash will unite the woman with her husband forever. So it must become a custom that every female child born must be taken to the dance goddess and a calabash given to the child. Every female child must protect this calabash very well, because with it they will find love." And that is how the men in the village were no longer attracted to Asabi. So Asabi went to the king in rage. "If a hen dies, she will leave her chicken. Kabiesi, how will I have a child of my own if I don't see a man to marry?" "Asabi," called the king, "go and pick a calabash and come and dance on the next festival. That's all." Asabi laughed. "Over my dead body, I shall not subject myself to one ridiculous dance. After all this my beauty and grace, over my dead body." So she left the palace in annoyance. Asabi got a calabash, but rather she filled it up with palm wine. She invited the king over. She called it an apology for disrespecting the king, but unknown to the king, Asabi has more under her sleeve. She got the king drunk and took the king to her chamber. Soon, the news of Asabi's pregnancy became the talk of the villagers. So the king wants Asabi for himself. That was why he blinded the inner eyes of the men in the village, said Ibidu. The villagers forgot about the king's kindness. The men in the village too were shocked by the news of Asabi's pregnancy and felt tricked by the king. So they asked that the king restore their inner eyes back to them. The king tried to prove that he is innocent. He even invited the chief priest and Asabi, but the villagers were enraged and ordered that if truly Asabi has committed an abomination, then she should be killed. The women too, out of jealousy, also supported the notion. So the chief priest hid Asabi till she gave birth to a child, and afterward she was asked to drink a poison. But the villagers were still not satisfied. Ibidu and the other women went to the king. We shall not accept that Asabi's child, Faderera, performed the custom of the dance goddess. We shall not give Asabi's daughter, Faderera, a calabash. But do you realize that Faderera is a princess? Said the king. You mean a bastard? Resorted Ibidu. If a house is peaceful, it's because the bastard child is yet to grow. So the king became worried. If Faderera did not perform the dance with the calabash in the presence of the dance goddess, then Faderera will never find love. After all I have done for this village, I shall not live and be ridiculed. So the king killed himself. The news of the king's death spread through the entire village, and the moment the throne became vacant, the women insist on having a woman king so that the dance custom can continue. Ibidu became the queen and promised to protect the dance custom and the dance goddess. Time passed. Fadekemi, Ibidu's daughter, became the princess of the village. Yes, your highness. Go and tell Faderera to get me irukere, or stale whisk, and tell the chief priestess to come in. The chief priestess entered into Fadekemi's chamber. Your highness, said the chief priestess. Yes, I can transfer the power in your calabash into the irukere. So instead of you to dance with the calabash like every ordinary girl in the village, you shall dance with royalty, with the beauty of the irukere. Fadekemi was excited and said, the prince of Ogbomosho land, Prince Adekola, is coming to the dance festival in order to choose a wife. I must impress the prince. The prince must choose me as his choice. And so it shall be, said the chief priestess. When Faderera came in with the irukere, that's the hostile whisk, Fadekemi thought in her mind, after the priestess transferred the power in my calabash to the irukere, I shall give the powerless calabash to Faderera. I shall ridicule her in the presence of the entire villagers. Just the way Ibidu was jealous of Asabi, so also is Fadekemi towards Faderera. Fadekemi hates the fact that Faderera is more beautiful than her. Fadekemi said, do you know that tomorrow is the dance festival? The dance goddess will be celebrated and maidens would get married. Yes, I know, replied Faderera. Faderera continued, but you know very well that I cannot dance. I cannot even shake my waist. I don't even have a calabash. How will I find love? So, in the morning, on the day of the festival, all the villagers and everyone gathered, and Fadekemi came out with hostile whisk at her hand instead of a calabash. Ha! The villagers were shocked. What is the meaning of this? And as Fadekemi bent to shake her waist, her body became stiff. Her mother, Queen Ibidun, quickly rushed to Fadekemi. "What is the meaning of this? Where is your calabash?" But the shame was too much for Fadekemi that she fainted, so they carried her away from the crowd. Fadekemi's servants pushed Faderera to the stage, since that is what Fadekemi ordered them to do, so as to ridicule Faderera. Faderera got on the stage shy, but she has a calabash with her. "What's going on?" The villagers were shocked again. "What's Faderera doing there? She can't even dance." And to everyone's amazement, Faderera stood up and danced to the beat of the drum. The prince of Ogbomosho land was impressed. He got attracted to Faderera, so he picked the calabash and fell in love with Faderera. When the news got to the queen, Queen Ibidun became very angry. She smashed the calabash on the ground. "Faderera would never find love," Queen Ibidun resorted. "I shall destroy the dance goddess. If Fadekemi, my daughter, can't find love, then no one will." In order to avoid being destroyed, the dance goddess disappeared from the village and returned back to the forest. The spell broke. The men in the village got their inner eyes back, and many were shocked by their choice and they detested their wives. But Prince Adekola of Ogbomosho land was happy with his choice because Faderera is an epitome of beauty both outward and inward. Faderera was glad she found love at last. Always remember that no condition is permanent. The end.